Hi friends, host Eric here, host Talking with Famous People, and I am currently in the host Eric room, appear.in/host Eric, and where I often come to make videos by myself, or sometimes with just one other person or something. And I want you all to know that you're welcome to come in here if you want anytime. I'll let you in. I usually keep it locked because, well, I don't know, it just defaults to that. But yeah, you're welcome to try to come in here. If I'm in here, I'll let you in. If I'm not in here, then it'll say you sit there and knock forever, and it won't ever let you in. But anyway, what I want to talk about is FE and the legitimacy of FE concerns and when one ought to consider them and some of the impacts that they have um, on relationships and on shit that happens in the world. So let's take a look at some comment stuff here. This is a tricky video I made here. Awareness comes before being good. So Paper Tiger doesn't like it because he says, oh my God, you're funny guy. Your videos never feel good. A laugh out of me. Well, 830, 840 says this. I really care about treating other people well. I really care about not being careless with people's hearts, too. So okay. Homie says that's hilarious. Okay. Oh, wait, you were being serious? Wahaha, dude, you're autistic as fuck. I thought INTJs were delusional about their own imagined righteousness and moral superiority. Thanks for demonstrating ENTPs to be just irrational, delusional, lack of self-awareness and INTJs. Another comment on that. Same video that also sets up shit like that, you know? And so the other comment that I want to talk about regarding that same thing is this fellow here. Polygamy is natural law, muscle or mass, and you have no disposition that I can't exploit. I have no disposition you can't exploit, and none you can either. Okay, so the thing is, why does that video elicit such strong response? And what I mean by strong response is it's got 58 views. It's got 3 thumbs up, including mine, and two down. It's got 5 comments, and it's been up for, not a day yet. It's not the hugest response ever, but you'll notice that these two comments are both FE moves. And I wanted to use this as a way to explain what happens a lot. So, our kind of smart people, if you're a regular watcher of this channel, if you tend to agree with some of the things I say or like my approach to things sometimes, there's a decent chance that you are just as egalitarian as I am. And as a fundamentally egalitarian individual, I get infuriated when others position themselves as knowing more, being morally superior, or anything like that. The thing is, part of growth is acknowledging when you find something threatening a little bit, that it's done well enough that you can't really critique it. That's a tough moment, and I've had to encounter that plenty of times myself. It's not fun because you're coming across something that appears, at least it feels like it violates one of your core values. That's why it's important to be really hard on yourself. really fucking hard on yourself. You gotta be really fucking hard on yourself for a long ass time. And eventually you get a little less attached to that shit. The thing is, am I positioning myself as morally superior? Yeah. Compared to the average, yeah. For sure. Why? Well, I spend a lot of time talking and thinking about it. Moral agency, what it means. What it means to be a good human being, what it means to be a bad human being. When it's okay to offend and bruise feelings for a greater good and when it's not. I don't always succeed in applying those things, but it's definitely the case that I'm serious about it. Now, if you want to do FE attacks, I will say that the first one posted, the second one I read, is much stronger. Much, much stronger. Let's talk about why. Polygamy is natural law, muscle or mass, and you have no disposition that I can't exploit. I like this a lot because it addresses an actual point relevant, although not explicitly talked about in the video, really. And then he makes an FE assertion to establish upon himself the position of the one casting judgment, the one who understands. This is normal. A normal approach to FE strategy. Position yourself as the one who understands more clearly. An FE argument is something like, oh, well, you know what? I used to actually have a position very similar to your own, but I have since done a lot of thinking and I've understood it better, more clearly, and that's why I've transitioned away from that position. That's not an actual argument, right? It's just an FE argument that's positioning you as wiser and having done more metacognition than the other person. So that's what these guys are doing here. You know, they don't like the fact that I appear to be positioning myself as more knowledgeable. And I, in fact, am positioning myself as more knowledgeable. I'm conceding that directly right here in certain specific areas, one of which is understanding the duties and obligations and privileges and rights that come along with being a moral agent, what it means to have to make decisions that impact people in the world, what it means to make decisions that impact not only people, but systems. So one of my big points about TWFP is that it's a discursive engine designed to optimize individuals. This is one of the ways in which it's optimizing them. Because unlike a lot of channels or places or things in life, if you come and put these comments here, there's a really good chance I'm going to address them directly. Not avoid it, not dodge the good parts of it and just address the bad parts. Actually engage what you're saying directly and honestly. So, why does this comment fail? Well, first of all, nobody believes your laughter, right? This isn't believable. When you link to a part that's explicitly not funny and is intended to be taken seriously and indicate you're laughing, well, it reads as what it is, which is an FE attack and not a very subtle or good one. Oh, wait, you were being serious? Nobody believes your shock. Bwahaha. Still nobody believes your laughter. Dude, you are autistic as fuck. Nobody thinks I'm autistic who knows anything about autism. You might say I'm ADHD. And I thought INTJs were delusional about their own imagined righteousness and moral superiority. I don't know what INTJs think about their righteousness and moral superiority. Thanks for demonstrating ENTPs can be just as irrational, delusional, and lacking in awareness as INTJs. Well, except I'm definitely not lacking in awareness, self-awareness. Definitely not irrational. And my position can not be claimed to be delusional because to the extent that it makes claims about others, it does so addressing an average, a norm, and says, yeah, I'm more engaged morally than most people. I'm further along than a lot of people in my optimization arc. Bojo is further along in his optimization arc than Paper Tiger. But Paper Tiger, this is why we do this shit. Because if you want to attack successfully, then you're going to need to learn to be a little bit more deft in your attacks. This is pretty deft, reasonably deft here. I mean, you're not going to beat me, as I demonstrate here, but you can earn some respect, or you can lose respect. Why does this lose respect? Because it's blunt and clumsy in its tactics. Okay? And it's all FE. There's no warrant here. You say I'm delusional. You say my righteousness and moral superiority are imagined, but you make no warrant or justification for that conclusion. You say I'm a funny guy, and that my 10 seconds that you linked to there were hilarious, but there's obviously nothing funny about it at all. So the strength of the link is pretty important. If you want to attack somebody in a way that's effective, you've got to, first of all, determine what your desired outcome is. This individual's desired outcome is to make me feel bad, to make me feel like I got schooled or something. It's dooms him to fail because I'm not going to feel schooled. If he's right, I'll be grateful that he corrected me. So, if you do want to do that stuff, Paper Tiger, may I suggest the following approach. If I were to critique my own video in a way that was more effective than either of those individuals did, I would say, this seems an awfully lot like a very convoluted way of presenting your own state of flow as more removed and intentional than it actually is. That you're not really saying much of anything here, Eric, except crafting a very polished presentational piece designed to impact the perceptions of others, to make them believe that you are somehow possessing of wisdom that they lack, that you are somehow behaving more appropriately than they, that your worldview is preferable in some fashion. The fact that you, Eric, can position these things very well and in manners to hide your fundamental underlying motivation of perception management doesn't change the fact that it's just as FE as what I'm doing. More so probably because you're in a position of greater access to vehicles of self-expression and necessarily are engaged more in the management of perceptions as a consequence. I think, Eric, that you need to be more careful because you preach honesty so vociferously, and yet you play fast and loose with statements regarding your own intentionality. And it's only through intentionality that we can truly know deception anyway. So be cautious, Eric. Your metaphysical body's writing metaphysical checks that your metaphysical ego can cash. That would have been a better critique. Or just put pride always comes before the fall. That would have been a better critique. I hope you see this as useful. Is it an FE thing? Yeah, but it's also reflective of a genuine real desire to be objectively self-critical and to respect the fact that people who are less far along in the process may have a lot of resentment, may voice that resentment, may exercise their own optimization through the taking down a notch of people who are too big for their britches. Nothing wrong with that. It's noble work. I don't mind people taking me down a notch when I'm too big for my britches, as I often am. But the reason I'm a good person is because I'd like to help Paper Tiger do a better job of attacking. I'd like to help Bojo do a better job of attacking. This is pretty good, but not really very strong. I mean, the things I said would have been a lot stronger. And the second one is something anybody could have probably come up with without too much difficulty. It's an idiom, you know? Basically, if you're egotistical about identity development, you put yourself at serious risk for backsliding. In other words, pride comes before the fall. So, the ability to collapse into effective argument chains that achieve your FE goals under the guise of either concern, TI critique, TE critique, or FE critique. The fact that things are disguised a lot in terms of their motivations, it's something to think about. It's kind of irrelevant, but I get it. I'm not trying to be reductive, reduce complicated issues to things that are easily swallowed. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget, there's a dairy product out there. It's got your name on it. It wants to slide down that throat into your belly. And that dairy product's name is cheese. Go ahead and have some now.